Rumors, whispers, echoes of the past carried on the wind, barely audible, yet impossible to ignore. Legends whispered in hushed tones, passed down through generations, each retelling adding a layer of mystery and fear. That's all we knew about the abandoned Blackwood Research Facility, a place that had become more myth than reality. A ghost story told to frighten children and intrigue the curious. Tucked away in the desolate heartland of America, hidden by miles of overgrown brush and forgotten roads, it was a place shrouded in mystery, the kind of place that seemed to exist outside of time, where the past lingered like a shadow. Locals spoke of strange lights, eerie sounds, and a chilling sense of dread that clung to the very air around it. They said the facility was cursed, that those who ventured too close never returned the same. We, the Ghost Adventures crew, were drawn to these stories like moths to a flame, compelled to uncover the truth hidden within those decaying walls. Our curiosity was a double-edged sword, driving us forward even as it filled us with trepidation. We rolled into the forgotten town just as the sun began to set, casting long, ominous shadows across the deserted main street. The town itself seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting for something to happen. The townsfolk, their faces etched with a mixture of apprehension and morbid fascination, watched us from behind dusty windows. Their eyes followed our every move, silently pleading with us to turn back while also daring us to continue. Their silence spoke volumes, a symphony of unspoken warnings and chilling tales they dared not utter aloud. It was as if the very act of speaking about Blackwood could summon its dark presence. We pressed on, leaving the last vestiges of civilization behind as we ventured deeper into the unforgiving wilderness. The path grew narrower, the trees denser, and the air colder with each step we took. The Blackwood facility was a scar upon the land, a monument to forgotten ambition, and if the rumors held any truth, unspeakable horrors. Its decaying walls seemed to whisper secrets of their own, tales of experiments gone wrong and lives destroyed. The closer we got, the heavier the air grew, thick with a palpable sense of dread that sent shivers down my spine, and it was as if the very ground beneath our feet was warning us to turn back. Our destination appeared through the twisted branches of the gnarled trees, a hulking silhouette against the dying light. It loomed over us, a dark sentinel standing guard over its secrets. This was no ordinary research facility. It was a place where the line between science and the supernatural had been blurred, where the pursuit of knowledge had given way to madness. This was a place where secrets slept and nightmares awoke. This was Blackwood, a place where the past refused to stay buried and the present was haunted by its echoes, and we were about to awaken them. With every step we took, we could feel the weight of the stories that had brought us here, the whispers on the wind growing louder, urging us to uncover the truth no matter the cost. The first step onto the grounds of Blackwood sent a jolt of energy through me. It was as if the very earth beneath my feet was charged with a forgotten power, a remnant of the past that refused to be silenced. The air crackled with unseen energy, a silent symphony of static that set my teeth on edge. Each breath I took felt like inhaling the echoes of 1,000 unspoken secrets, lingering in the atmosphere like a ghostly presence. The building itself loomed before us, a decaying monolith of steel and glass that seemed to absorb the very sunlight, leaving an unnatural chill in its wake. It was as if the structure was a black hole, drawing in all warmth and light, leaving only shadows and cold behind. Vines like skeletal fingers clawed their way up the crumbling facade, twisting through broken windows that resembled vacant eyes staring out into the wilderness. These vines seemed to be the only things thriving here, feeding off the decay and desolation. The silence was deafening, broken only by the distant caw of a crow and the rustle of the wind whispering through the skeletal trees. It was a silence that felt alive, as if the very air was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. It was the kind of silence that screamed, a symphony of absence that spoke of things best left undisturbed. Every creak of the old building, every rustle of leaves seemed amplified, echoing through the empty halls like a warning. As we stepped closer, the shadows seemed to deepen, wrapping around us like icy fingers. The darkness was almost tangible, a living entity that seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of decay and something else, something metallic and sharp that made my stomach churn. It was the smell of old blood, of rusted metal and forgotten experiments. This wasn't just a place where science had been pushed to its limits, it was a place where humanity itself had been tested and found wanting. The remnants of past experiments lay scattered around, a grim testament to the horrors that had been conducted here. We were walking into the belly of the beast, and something told me it was still hungry. The walls seemed to close in around us, the shadows growing darker, as if the building itself was aware of our presence and was watching, waiting for the right moment to strike. Each step we took echoed through the empty corridors, a reminder of the countless souls who had walked these halls before us and the unspeakable things they had witnessed. The air was thick with the weight of their memories, pressing down on us like a physical force. Strange artifacts littered the ground, remnants of experiments long forgotten. Broken glass, rusted metal, and unidentifiable objects lay strewn about, each one a piece of a puzzle that painted a picture of madness and despair. The deeper we ventured, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. It was as if the building itself was alive, breathing, and we were intruders in its domain. Every shadow seemed to move, every sound seemed to whisper our names, urging us to turn back before it was too late. The rusted metal door groaned in protest as we forced it open, its hinges screaming in agony from years of neglect and disuse. The sound echoed through the desolate hallways like a scream, reverberating off the crumbling walls and amplifying the eerie silence that enveloped the place. Dust motes danced in the faint rays of sunlight that pierced through the grime-covered windows, illuminating a scene frozen in time. The room seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting for something to break the stillness. It was as if the occupants had simply vanished, leaving their work scattered across desks and their tools lying dormant on half-assembled projects. The remnants of their lives were left behind, untouched and undisturbed, a haunting reminder of a past abruptly halted. Papers yellowed with age and covered in cryptic notes littered the floor, whispering tales of forgotten experiments and chilling discoveries. Each note, each scribble seemed to hold a piece of a larger, more sinister puzzle. The air was thick with the weight of unanswered questions, a suffocating blanket of mystery that threatened to consume us. It felt as though the very atmosphere was alive, pressing down on us with an almost tangible force. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of paper sent shivers down my spine, as if the very building itself was watching our every move. The sense of being observed was inescapable, an omnipresent gaze that followed us through the darkened corridors. We moved deeper into the facility, our flashlights cutting through the oppressive darkness, revealing glimpses of laboratories, observation rooms and holding cells. Each beam of light uncovered more of the facility's secrets, but also deepened the shadows, making the unknown even more terrifying. Each room held its own unique brand of horror, a silent testament to the dark secrets that lurked within Blackwood's walls. The observation rooms, with their one-way mirrors and abandoned equipment, hinted at experiments that were better left forgotten. The silence was almost deafening, broken only by the sound of our own footsteps and the frantic beating of our hearts. It was a silence that seemed to amplify every noise, every breath, making the atmosphere even more oppressive. It was the silence of anticipation, of dread, of knowing that something sinister was lurking just beyond the reach of our lights. The feeling of impending doom was palpable, a constant companion as we ventured further into the unknown depths of the facility. Our flashlights revealed a mysterious object partially hidden in the shadows, its purpose and origin unknown. It was a stark reminder that we were intruding on a place filled with secrets, each one more unsettling than the last. In the control room, flickering monitors cast an eerie glow, their screens displaying static and fragmented images. It was as if the facility itself was trying to communicate, to warn us of the dangers that lay ahead. From a distant corridor, indistinct sounds reached our ears, adding to the growing sense of unease. Were they echoes of the past or something more sinister, something that still lingered in the shadows? We huddled together, our nerves frayed and our senses on high alert. Every shadow seemed to move, every sound seemed amplified, as if the facility itself was alive and aware of our presence. As we stood at the entrance, looking back into the darkness, we couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. The silence hung heavy, a reminder of the mysteries that still lay hidden within Blackwood's walls, waiting to be uncovered.